Cheers, everyone. Haven't done one of these in a while.
Count with me now. 5, 4, 3.
They're out there, Mike.
2.
Where?
1.
Everywhere.
Showtime!
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, we are, albeit under duress, taking a trip back to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Jesus Christ. Some time has passed since Mike, Abby, and Vanessa managed to escape the confines of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, but the trauma still looms large. Vanessa suffers night terrors of her serial killer father, whilst Abby is desperate to be reunited with her animatronic friends. But it all kicks off when another Freddy Fazbear site starts coming alive, and ghosts of the past come back with a vengeance. When the first Five Nights at Freddy's came out, I believe in late 2023, I remember sat in the cinema, watching the film, and thinking, this is a terrible, terrible movie, but I think there's enough in here that die-hard fans of the video game, and any of the canon that has come with it, are actually probably going to get a kick out of it. And I think that was the case. The movie was not all that well received, but it did well in terms of box office and has kind of been appreciated by fans from then on. So it did kind of the job that it intended to, and that was please the fans. It pleased literally no one else, but hey, the fans were happy. Now, perhaps quite stupidly, I went to rewatch the first film prior to seeing the sequel, and I have to say, amazingly, it was worse than I remember. It's a just truly awful movie. Now we turn our attention to the sequel, and look, if I'm being truthful, it sucked! Good God, this was an atrocious movie. Fans of the franchise, look, we may not agree on certain things, but you don't deserve this. I may not be clued into the games and any of that expansive canon that I suggested earlier. I often don't have a clue what's going on, who Freddy and Bonnie and Chica are. It means nothing to me. But, Christ almighty, you really shouldn't have to put up with this drivel, with this being deemed passable for your satisfaction. I truly do not know where to begin with this film. I think I just have to go in order of what annoyed me the most. And let's start off with the characters. They have progressed from being just deeply uninteresting to now, quite frankly, incredibly annoying. Abby is the main culprit. Look, I'm not blind to the fact that I know horror movies now and then, they have to have a child character who may come across slightly annoying, but their sole purpose is to advance the plot. They cause a commotion that the antagonist inevitably capitalizes on, and hey presto, we're off to the races. But Abby goes above and beyond to piss you off on such a ridiculous scale. The whole angle of her whining and complaining that she misses her friends, who, I'm just going to reiterate for the jury, her friends are killer animatronics possessed by the souls of murdered children.
That is completely fucking stupid.
But, you know, it's all okay because they hung out together and they built a fort once. But what makes Abby so unbearable is that she is deliberately going out of her way to put herself and others in jeopardy all because she wants to hang with her friends. This character is 11 years old. At 11, I knew what actions I would do that could put myself and others in danger. Instead, they play her like she's a bratty toddler. And, okay, on this channel, I don't like to speak ill of child actors. I don't think it's fair. So, I will just say this. I think there are many, many talented child actors working in Hollywood today. Were none of them available? What also doesn't help is the character of Mike, who is Abby's older brother, played by Josh Hutcherson, who appears like he is just sleepwalking through this entire film. Given all of the traumatic events that transpired in the first film, I was shocked at how blasé he acted about Abby wanting to revisit this murder palace. The character of Mike is just devoid of anything interesting at all. And as for Vanessa, Elizabeth Lail brings very little to the role. And whilst there's some attempt, even if it was a feeble one, to give her character more to do, she just lacks any sort of personality to really warrant giving this character such a prominent role. Whilst I am by no means expecting Shakespeare for the screenplay here, my word, there is some dialogue in this film that may as well be taking a hatchet to the audience's eardrum. Everyone, and I really do mean every single character in this film, speaks in such plain and simple robotic sentences. It feels like it was written by AI. In fact, you know what? No, I'm going to get stick for this. I think AI would have done a better job. The story is farcical at points. Clearly, it's just wandering around aimlessly to just get from Easter egg to jump scare back to another Easter egg, purely for the sole purpose of there is a fan in the audience that can point at the screen and go,
"Oh, that's so-and-so. I feel justified now because I'm a fan and I recognize that character."
It's so lazy. It's so lazy, amateurish filmmaking. And if there is anyone out there who is hoping to maybe just get a couple of good frights within the film, keep dreaming. Any attempt this film has of horror falls flat on its face. There's no tension, no suspense, no atmosphere. You're just bombarded with some cartoonish looking face that flies at you and a loud scream plays out suddenly on the speakers. I know that is how the game operates, but at least in the video game, you are the one in control. You are the one responsible for your own decisions. You aren't having to witness other dumb characters making dumb decisions and you rolling their eyes for how dumb they are. This is lowest common denominator horror filmmaking. And the animatronics, they're just not scary. And look, I applauded the film, the first film, for its practical and animatronic creations. 2 thumbs up. You did a good job in bringing them to life. And I guess as a result, the same kind of extends to this film. But they're just not imposing whatsoever. I'm sorry, but when Wayne Knight is fleeing from a demonic Tweety bird, scared is not the reaction I'm experiencing there. Oh, and Megan Fox voices Chica. I don't really have anything to add upon that. It's just a sentence that I think needs to be made apparent. Megan Fox voices Chica. And this is the society we are in. I honestly do not think there is a single redeeming quality about Five Nights at Freddy's 2. To put it bluntly, I think this might be one of the most abysmal horrors released in the 2020s. The screenplay is lifeless, featuring characters whom you either want to smash their head against a wall, or are so unfathomably torpid you wish for them to vanish entirely. There is no point trying to judge this as a horror movie, because that would require it to at least attempt to be scary. And come to the climax, as it, and I'm really not kidding here, tries to pull off an Avengers Endgame, as well as leave things on a cliffhanger, as it dangles cheap bait for any brainwashed members of the audience to rally for what is sure to be a measly third installment. All of that combined, quite frankly, I couldn't give a shit. So, I'm going to give Five Nights at Freddy's 2 a 1.5 out of 10.
That is one big pile of shit.
Anyway, guys, those were my thoughts on Jesus Christ. Anyway, guys, those were my thoughts on Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Let me know, have you had the chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And my question to you, I said that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 might be one of the worst horror films that I have seen in this decade. So I'm going to extend the question to you. What is the worst horror film you have seen in the 2020s thus far? But there's all the time we have for today, so make sure to like and subscribe. I am completely out of rum, and I will see you in the next video.
Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.